My new roommate wasn't assigned to my senior year of college. My previous roommate graduated and moved back home to save money. I kept dwelling on the idea of a new roommate taking his place, someone I didn't know, sharing my space. The next afternoon, 3 sharp knocks echoed through the apartment. I swung the door open and was met by a young man with dark, greasy hair hanging over his eyes. Clutching a single cardboard box to his chest. Hello, can I help you? I asked in a raspy voice. He replied, I'm your new roommate. Apartment 367, right? I nodded. Yeah, man, come in. I've been nice to meet you. He reached out his hand. It trembled as he spoke. Name's Jackson. I held the door open and ushered him inside. As he passed me, the sharp aroma of bleach flooded my nostrils. I nearly gagged. I showed him around the apartment. Not much here, but feel free to use my dishes if you need to. He didn't respond, just nodded silently, his eyes scanning the room like he was cataloging everything. I attempted to make conversation, but Jackson was like a brick wall. Out of sheer awkwardness, I decided to leave early for work. I said goodbye and told him I'd be home later that night. Jackson raised his hand in a stiff wave and let out the creepiest smile. When he smiled, it didn't reach his eyes, almost like the rest of his face had to catch up. I gathered my things and chalked it up to him being socially awkward. Later that evening, when I arrived home, all the lights were off in the apartment. I assumed Jackson wasn't home. I switched the lights on and swung the fridge door open. Inside were 10 packages of red meat, neatly stacked and tightly wrapped as I stood there staring. I heard a faint croaking sound coming from Jackson's bedroom. I moved closer to his door. The croaking shifted into scratching. Then, suddenly the noises intensified. My nerves shot through me. I banged on his door. Hey man, everything all right? Everything went silent. 10 seconds passed. Then, in a gargled tone, Jackson hissed, Yes. Just getting dressed. Okay, I said quickly. Just checking. I heard some noises. No response. I went back to my room and locked my door for the first time since moving in. The next morning, Jackson was gone. His door was wide open. I tried to ignore it and went straight to the fridge to grab my eggs. Before I could, I noticed 5 of Jackson's meat packages were missing. I assumed he'd cooked sometime during the night. Still, curiosity gnawed at me. I slowly approached his bedroom. A tangy metallic smell hit my nose as I peered inside. The room was practically empty, like no one had ever moved in. Except for the cardboard box. It sat unopened on his desk. As I stepped closer, a knock sounded at the front door. I recoiled. The knocking came again. I cracked the door open to see Jackson standing there with a woman beside him. Hey, Jackson, I muttered. He rushed inside, the woman following closely behind. Forgot my keys, he mumbled. Thank you. His eyes darted toward his bedroom as he shut the door quickly. This is my sister, Amber, Jackson said. Amber cocked her head to the side and raised her hand in a stiff, unnatural wave. She never spoke. Nice to meet you, I said softly. Are you helping Jackson move more stuff in? Her eyes stayed glazed on me. Jackson hissed. You didn't go in my room, Ben, right? I would never intrude, I said quickly. He nodded and pulled Amber into his room. She stared at me the entire time. I left the apartment soon after that night at work. I told my coworkers everything. Kelly was the most adamant. Ben, this isn't a joke, she said, gripping my arm. You're uncomfortable in your own home. This guy's a stranger. Who knows what he does? I nodded. Did you hear about the student who went missing? She added. My stomach dropped. Who? I don't remember his name, she said, but I heard the FBI's involved. Just trust your gut. The next morning, I decided I'd request a roommate change. When I got home, I went straight to my room and locked the door. Jackson was inside his room as usual. Knock, knock. My heart sank. Jackson, can we talk, Ben? He asked. I'm about to go to bed, please. It won't take long. I opened the door. Jackson stood a few steps back, smiling. What do you want? I asked. He sat on the couch, stiff and deliberate. What makes your life? He asked. I stared at him. My friends, my family. He stared at me, never breaking eye contact. Then Jackson said, Is that normal for most humans? I looked at him, perplexed. What the hell do you mean? His smile grew wider. To stay under the radar, you must have friends and family. I was taken aback. All right, Jackson. I've got work in the morning. Good night.